It's very simple. It literally takes maybe 10 minutes. Mary just was so wonderful, and she chopped at home. Actually, use your hands on the food processor. No hands. Okay. So we need to have a cabbage, and you need to have a carrots. And actually, if you want to play with your imagination. Whatever you like, you can bring, chop, and ferment. I do. When you come to my class, you can see my garden medley. I have radishes. I have everything on planet Earth which you can ferment in my jars, and it's wonderful. Beets, I teach you guys everything. So we will be probably posting when it's happened, but today it's simple. Okay, so you need to start with cabbage. Put the cabbage in a mixing bowl, and then we have some carrots. And you have a recipe, how much of everything, but I tell you what, I never measure. I look at the recipes and go with the flow. So I tell you how it goes. You need to simply add as much salt that when you taste it, it's really salty. It's really salty. Then you have proper amount of salt. And you need to mix it properly. So it must be salty to the taste, or initial taste, don't worry. The best salt, which I love this gray, darkish looking, sea salt, because this sea salt has the richest in minerals, so this is what I use. We have some salt today. And I simply sprinkle those chopped veggies with salt and mix it. And normally veggies is 90% of water. So, and salt will stimulate for this water to get released. So after squeezing it for like a couple of minutes and let it sit for approximately maybe 15 minutes, you can add your favorite spices. I like caraway. It was old German tradition, and they use it, and I use it. We've been using it at home, so I just follow my family's tradition. So we sprinkle some caraway and let it sit. And when after 15 minutes, sometimes half an hour, you will see that the cabbage get wilted and release a little liquid. And then the whole thing, what you need to do, you need to pack the whole mixture into your mason jar. So mason jars, I normally use the biggest mason jars, like maybe 2-3 liters big, not small like that, but for the sake of presentation, we just show it does be packed in here tightly. So sometimes you have this kind of more or something which you need to pound it tight. I asked my husband to just release his frustration, and he just maybe it's very tight. So anyway, so the thing what you need to do, remember, you need to really squeeze, and the more you squeeze it, you have more liquid released. And so anyway, okay, Mary, I can put my you put me away. Yeah, so, okay, shipwreckers, I use the bigger jars. Anyway, so you pack to the top, and then I tell you what, actually not to have your culture spoiled, you need to make all these little shredded pieces submerged in a liquid. So no water, no vinegars, nothing, just plain veggies and salt, okay? Lots of salt recipe, you maybe for the first time don't play with, your imagination. Don't go by heart, but follow the recipes for the first time. And later, don't be afraid. People have been doing it for millennia. Nobody get killed, and you will read about the benefits of this fermented food. There's no fermented specific diet which suits everybody, but you have like a really staples which everybody will be benefiting from. So fermented foods, fermented culture food. Look for all the traditional, parts of the population which be known from the longevity and robust health. They all have some kind of fermented food. All of them. Look around the globe. All of them eat something fermented. Forest, so it just, nature, I think it's a perfect creator. And when we release nature to play with these ferments, it just can't with the proper selection and strain of this symbiotically working bacteria. And look what happened. Research proved and compared, it was double-blind study. If I remember, it was done by Johns Hopkins Hospital. They fed this, two groups of people. One with, man-made, nicely done, in pharmaceutical, whatever, facility probiotics, which for therapeutic purposes, I do not want to say that it's not needed. Sometimes we need, you have like a hammer, yeah, and use it in a much higher concentration. But they compare the two groups of people, one being fed with the fermented foods, another was given probiotics, and I tell you who were faring better. People with fermented foods, because we cannot replicate the nature. We cannot compete with this with nature's creation. So just use. I like following rules of nature, because I think it has, it proved that for 21 centuries was serving us well and teaching us something important. We are still alive, although dinosaurs are gone. So it's something to do. So anyway, so on top of this, we need to put to help you submerge those veggies. I usually put on the top the piece of the cabbage leaf, which I save, and then I tell you what I do. I remember back at home we've been using stone, which was fitting into like a crock. But at home I usually find a little glass jar, which is narrow enough to fit into the opening of the bigger jar, and simply I put a little of water, and just virtual being have a little of weight, it works like a weight and keep those veggies submerged. And then you simply cover your culture with the cheesecloth or maybe tablecloth or something like a kitchen towel. And I tell you one thing which please do not forget, because the culture becomes so active and fermenting really profusely. So, and you have so much liquid created that normally the jar overflows. So put this jar in some little bowl. But it was good not to go on your counter or wherever you keep it. And one suggestion, keep it in the darker, warmer place of your kitchen. Above in a cupboard above your maybe fridge will be just fine. And leave it for 10 days at least, and you will see the color of your culture will change, like a kind of yellowish hue. It will look differently. So, and then you can start try it, how it tastes. Yeah. So whatever it's good for you, it probably will be whatever appeals to you. With the taste. So I think you can finish fermenting. I like when it's at least 2 weeks old, really deeply fermented. So go with your taste and just enjoy it. Yeah. So simple. The sauerkraut, you have much more to learn. It's very simple. Yeah. Nothing can go wrong. It doesn't smell nice if it doesn't taste. Something that you can enjoy. I think you can maybe some strain bacteria, just take a residence. But normally I never ever have any problem like that. Okay, so this is how we start. Go, don't be afraid. Chop your cabbage, chop your carrots, and yes.
Do you need to keep it in the fridge at any time?
No. When you ferment, you need to have a room temperature, because how the bacteria will multiply. You know what? Room temperature is the best, but later when you finish your fermentation, you think, oh, this is what I want to end my fermentation at this point. Then at this moment, you can actually transfer the whole culture jar to the fridge, where I keep my ferments. I have a spare fridge in my garage, and where all my fermented foods are sitting. Yeah. Okay.
Can you do that with cauliflower?
Oh, everything. I told you, I'm fermenting everything. Whatever your heart desire. Yes, but yes, I tell you what. For sauerkraut, for example, for my beets, I use ginger and I use garlic. I'm telling you, if you try the beet kvass, it's called beet kvass. You ferment the beet. It's something so delicious. I mean, you put the champagne glass and you drink it. It's much better. No, it just, the fermentation will be finished faster. Yeah. Normally, what it says, after 10 days, I think October, but I think right now it's much colder and you don't have a proper strain of this bacteria, because where the bacteria is coming from the environment, yeah. And besides, on the cabbage itself, you have so much good friendly bacteria by the virtue of being there. And, in the dormancy, you just activate them. So, yeah, so this is the whole A sauerkraut, I'm telling you, it cannot be anything simpler than that. Yeah,
Can
okay.
you use other spices or fried?
Oh, yeah. Whatever you like.
Uh,
You must enjoy it. This is what I do, yeah? Don't get fried. Nothing goes wrong with fried. Yeah? If one little touch is not your favorite one, the next one is better. It's like you play like a kid, you play like a little girl. You know what? Yeah, teaching what it is about. You know, you need to enjoy. In order to do something on a regular basis, you enjoy. And what I suggest my patients have a little fermented food in every single meal, because as you read, you see the benefits, how to digest, how to produce vitamins, you know, rebuild so-called big word, microbiota. It means the proper symbiotic bacteria in your gut. So it's very, very crucial for your health. Okay? It will create some liquid on its own. You don't need no. As long as you put proper amount of salt, it must be salty. The recipes follow recipes. This is proper proportion. And then when you really squeeze it, you know the liquid will be released. 90% of content of veggies is water. It's the best water you can have in ionic form. Okay? Done.